if we do it just at this holiday party, it's okay because 80/20. If 80% of the time you're focusing on whole foods, low sugar, getting your movement in, it's okay if this 1 week around Christmas you're eating a little more sugar. You're not moving your body as much just for this season. It is literally days before Christmas, so we're going to keep it really light and touch on something that you might be struggling with this holiday season, and that is quote unquote staying on track with your nutrition or not falling off the wagon with nutrition, wondering what you can and can't eat while the holidays are around. So let's get straight to it. In our fertility journey, there's a lot of fear-based decisions. If you have not listened to Bridget's episode from last week, you 100% should go listen to that. But even in her story, she's talking about being on vacation and not wanting to get in the hot tub because she can't, quote unquote, for fertility, because hot tubs are bad for fertility, right? And so she's on this beautiful vacation with her husband and not doing the things she wants to do because she's fearful that she won't get pregnant. And hint, hint, wink, wink, this is the cycle that she did get pregnant and she did get in the hot tub. So there are a lot of really smart, like scientific things that we wouldn't want to do for fertility, right? Like we wouldn't want to just eat McDonald's every day and drink a gallon of alcohol and smoke a pack of cigarettes, right? I'm not advocating for any of these things or saying that the science isn't there to prove that your fertility is better by doing certain nutritional things, right? We know whole foods is best. We know low sugar is best. We know we don't need to be in a hot tub or a sauna every single day, especially around ovulation or after ovulation. But here is my thing for you. What you do every single day matters a whole lot more than what you do every once in a while. So while we are in this holiday season and there's the parties, and so there's all the desserts, all the cakes, all the, your granny's fried chicken. If you're like me from the South, I don't have a granny that makes fried chicken, but you know what I'm saying? Like all these good meals that you're almost fearful to eat because it's not whole foods or it's not gluten free or that pie is too sugary. And so you're not really, the holidays are hard enough as it is, right? We've already talked about jealousy from pregnancy announcements. We've talked about the hard question from the nosy family members. The last thing you want to do is feel like you can at least have a piece of cake to help you get through this holiday party. And so I want to touch on that today. And I want to release you of the guilt or the worry that you have. Because again, like I said, what we do all the time matters a lot more than what we do some of the time. And I even talk to my clients a lot about the 80/20 rule. 80% of the time, we're doing the best we can. We're following the rules. We're eating whole foods. We're drinking water, all the things, right? And 20% of the time, YOLO, just straight up YOLO, because we live in the real world where schedules are hectic. We know we don't want to focus on processed food. We know we don't want to eat pecan pie every single day, but if we do it just at this holiday party, it's okay because 80/20. If 80% of the time you're focusing on whole foods, low sugar, getting your movement in, it's okay if this 1 week around Christmas you're eating a little more sugar. You're not moving your body as much just for this season. Release your perfectionism. I have a lot of clients that are type A perfectionists. I'm willing to bet there's some of you that are listening right now that are type A perfectionists as well. But I don't want you to be fearful to have that glass of wine with your mom. I don't want you to be fearful to have that piece of cake after dinner. I don't want you to be fearful to enjoy whatever it is that's your favorite side that's not perfectly quote unquote fertility nutrition. And I'm willing to bet if you sat down with your calendar and looked at how many parties, how many gatherings you had to go to, let's say maybe you have a work one and like two or three family ones. So maybe you have four or five things to go to at most. And if you have more than that, you might need to say no to something because having too much on your plate is not good for you either. But let's just say you have 4 or 5 on your schedule, on your planner. Having a piece of cake, having a glass of wine, these 4 to 5 times out of the whole month, out of the whole year, out of the whole 3 months you've been focusing on your fertility is not going to ruin the progress that you've made. Your fertility journey should not feel like a prison. And that's why I focus on here at Fruitful Fertility Co. I've been saying lately, we focus on a Christ and life first plan because we don't want to be led by our emotions, by our ovulation strips. We want to create a fertility routine that lets us live our life, that puts joy back in, where we're not missing out on things. Now, if your friends want to go to the bar and drink all night, maybe we don't do that. There is some discernment here. I'm not advocating for just doing whatever the heck you want, but I am advocating for giving yourself grace and understanding that sometimes it's not that deep, right? Sometimes it's not that deep. So I know this episode is really, really short, but I just wanted to encourage you with this as you step into this week, probably your last week of holiday parties, that it's okay. What you can do is start your morning with a really protein fueled breakfast. So if you know you're going to go to the party in the evening and maybe you're going to have cake or maybe you're going to have wine, make sure that what you do on the front end of the day is stacked very fertility friendly. You're having a high protein breakfast. You're not drinking coffee before your breakfast. You're getting some movement in. Go for a walk with your husband before you go to the party. And then when you get to the party, just enjoy. Just enjoy it, right? It's not going to derail your progress, I promise. So give yourself some grace, pre-plan the front of your day, and I really hope you enjoy your Christmas this year. I hope that this podcast has brought you tips over the last year. I'm bringing an episode next week on encouragement for how to make 2026 different than 2025. So if you're like, ugh, Tori, 2025 was just a terrible year when it comes to trying to conceive, I'm going to tell you how to get out of that rut, to get unstuck from a biblical perspective. So hang in there. I love you. Enjoy your parties, and I will see you next week.